this game, as we sit here Tuesday, and I thought about it last night, and I get geared up for FSU Miami. Man, this is a chance for Tommy Castellanos to become in lore, Florida State lore. Like, I think he's got to be, and it doesn't take a genius to figure this out, he's got to be a star for them to win this game. Like, I think he's got to run his ass off, much the way he became a star in that Alabama game and made some big, big plays and put his money where his mouth was in the offseason. This is another one of those. There aren't too many moments on the schedule where that's required of him. This is required of him this weekend.
And he's got it in him.
Oh, yeah,
he's got it in him. He made some poor plays in that game. He made some great plays in that game.
I think it's who he is.
And but he's going to need, more great. Like the throw to Pittman, the throw to Deuce that he bobbles. Like, those are great plays. And then we forget, because maybe he did score a touchdown, but he had some big runs in that game too. And he is the great equalizer with those defensive ends. Ruben Bain's really good.
Really good.
He's not as fast as Tommy Castellanos, and if Tommy Castellanos will get outside of him repeatedly.
I do hope I wondered if he was a little slowed by the ankle in that game. He didn't look quite as explosive. And so you'd like to hope that maybe another week, maybe he didn't have a setback, and you see the explosiveness out of him. But, man, it's not just going to be about him. Yeah. I mean, Chroma has to play well. I mean, all these guys have to play.
It's a Sawchuck kind of game.
Jalen Lucas, give him a ball every now and again, throwing that out there.
Maybe.
Keziah, we'll see in, I guess, Gainesville. Thanks for those 32 yards.
We talked about it. I'm sure you brought it up on the Smash. We talked about it in our conversation yesterday. There is no real rhyme nor reason to some of these substitution patterns on both sides of the ball. There's some things you see where you're like,
and we asked David Johnson about Keziah, and he didn't really have a great answer as to why those were his only 2 plays of the night. And then Jalen Lucas asked Norvell about that last week. Yeah. He had 1 play in this game. It was an 8-yard just in and around where he showed some real wheels.
2 other snaps, though.
And then they can't get in the game.
Well, and then I like that they have variety.
Sure.
I like that they like to move it around, but I'm
almost
surprised.
Too many guys to get the ball
cooks in the kitchen.
Tom last night coined the phrase Keziah goodbye. that's what. So with Keziah 2 big runs.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Peace out.
By the way,
next time.
Back to Bain and then throw in Mesidor. The thing about they're just going to read those guys. You're not going to block them. You're going to read those guys, and that should help neutralize. This is where having a quarterback that can really run is a savior, because I don't know that physically you would be in real good shape here against those 2
But nobody
ends.
would. I mean, those are NFL guys.
Those 2 stud NFL guys, but now you just read them.
Yep. And you've got ways to neutralize those guys, most notably number 1 in his feet, but then you've got Lucas and, well, theoretically Lucas, but Danzy running side to side.
Glenn just asked in the chat if Roydell's back, and he is back. And David Johnson, talking today, the running backs coach, is excited to have him back, because Roydell, not only being a physical runner, he's their best back and pass protection.
Yeah,
that's a tough one. That's a tough one, Ira. That's a tongue twister.
You just got to go straight with the pass pro. Just keep it going.
Anyways, they do have him back. So that's just another guy to get Keziah on the bench.
Do you think if Roydell had been available in Charlottesville that the 4th and 1 call is different?
I don't know, man. Maybe.
Because here's the thing I brought up with Aslan is, like, the biggest play of this season so far for that offense, in my opinion, we'll see where the season goes, is you're at your own 34, 4th and 1 in a 24-17 game in the 4th quarter, and you go for it, and you just hand it to number 5, and he gets you 2 yards.
It says to me that they were very confident in that Alabama game that they could get those tough yards. And for whatever reason,
and not Sawchuck,
I don't know if it was him as much as the way the line was playing. I think that they just got spooked.
About the line.
They didn't feel as good in that game. I think they didn't feel as good in that game against Virginia's defensive front as the game went on.
It's interesting because I have no doubt that the energy, the intensity, the focus, all of that, it's a rivalry. They hate each other at night. Doak Campbell, 7:30. It's that you're there to play with their hair on fire. It's just a question of whether or not they're good enough. And we don't know. We won't know until we see that game. And, you can suspect yay or nay on that. But we really don't know, because the Alabama game did happen, and they were more physical, and they did shut that down. But as Corey correctly pointed out, Alabama has not been able to run the ball this year. That is surprising to say the least, given that coming into the season, they were thought to have one of the best offensive lines in the country. Well, they don't.
They should give it to the Proctor kid. Put him in the backfield.
I mean, it's bizarre. But subsequently, you played 2 teams that couldn't do anything about it. You could do anything you wanted, which in retrospect wasn't great, but it was what it was. And Virginia was the more physical team for long stretches of the time in this last game, and kept seeing the pile moving forward upon contact. That was frustrating. That has to stop. You got to, and I do think they'll play with a ferocity that we didn't see against Virginia. I wonder, Gus has moved the ball against everybody. And again, two teams that couldn't compete. But Gus has moved the ball against everybody so far. Are they able to really hum on offense in this game the way they have so far this year against a very good Miami defense? And if they do, does this turn into a shootout? I mean, if you're trying to write the script for the game, where are you at on a Tuesday, boys? How do you think this game goes? I know what the odds makers say about the total.
What's the over on? What is the over?
It's 54.5, I think, something like that. It's
right. I feel like you're going to have to score in the mid-30s to win the game. You're going to have to score in the 30s to win the game, I think, either team.
Yeah, so you're seeing this more of a if
is that a shootout anymore? I don't know, but
if you write the script for a Florida State victory, you're saying 31-24, 31-30, 30-27, something along those lines. Because I asked this yesterday on the show just to the listeners, like, what do you think? Are we looking at 20-17, or is this a low-scoring game, or do we feel like this is going to be a higher-scoring game?
Yeah, it's so hard to tell. It's weird that we're 5 weeks in, and you really don't know exactly how good Miami is. If you look at the names on the schedule, it looks like they had a pretty good schedule so far. They played Notre Dame, they played Florida. USF is a solid team, but really, I don't know that they got Notre Dame in that kid's first start.
Yeah.
And a quarterback, and then they got Florida where they've just fallen apart.
They got South Florida after the Florida win.
They beat Florida, which looked like a big deal at the time. So it's just, we don't know. And they got to play all those games at home. So I think we have a better idea of what Florida State is at this point. I don't know if we know how good Miami is on either side of the ball, and they're having to play their first road game. How do they handle that? They have a freshman wide receiver who looks great so far, but this will be his first game outside of that stadium. So there's just, it's weird though that we're 5 weeks in and we still don't know exactly what Miami is.
Yeah, well, they're good. They're not unbeatable by any stretch. Well, obviously, nobody is.
Very few teams are this year.
Nobody is.
Yeah, I would say that's a good point, Ira. Though I think the part about the first real road game.
Yeah,
I mean, first road game period. Like, this will be a hornet's nest. I mean, this is going to be nuts on Saturday night. Yep. That crowd is going to bring it. And we know college kids, as I like to say, are more subject to the whims of emotion than pros. Pros go on the road, don't give a damn. Yeah. They're businessmen. They're out here doing it 33 years old, Kids get overwhelmed. We see it all the time. You watch these swings, these incredible swings when the crowd is able to get into it and begin to believe. Right now, players are elevating their belief.
And the crowd was a factor against Alabama.
I thought so, too.
And they play in great environments all the time, but it still was a factor.
And you saw it directly impact them. The noise directly impacted Alabama. This will be interesting. I know Carson's played in a million tough environments, having come from the SEC, but a lot of the other guys haven't. And again, for the first time this year, if things go poorly early for them, if Florida State is able to make a few things happen offensively, I think, especially you get this crowd into it. Imagine you get a 40, 50-yard touchdown, something like that, and lift the lid. The place goes berserk. Now, that kind of tumult is interesting. You watch it affect players, even players who are very experienced. So, yeah, Florida State's fans we got to bring it.
It was going to be a good game no matter what, but I do think that some of this lines up well for Florida State. I mean, I do think that they're going to be as focused as they could possibly be. Like you're not going to, and we talked to Deuce Robinson today. We talked to Jabril Rawls and David Johnson, the running backs coach, but they all talked about just the attention to detail this week was so much sharper than what it was last week. And it should have been last week, but man, it's just human nature. You get feeling good about things and you start overlooking things. And then when you have a game where you have so many mistakes on tape and so many things you didn't do that you thought you would do, man, those are great teaching moments. And so if they've applied those, plus with the sting of the loss, Miami might get Florida State's best effort. They might have gotten it anyway, but I feel very confident they're going to get it now.
And I liked, because I felt it too. Like, obviously you never want to lose. It's not a great loss, but you weren't a 30-point favorite. That was always, I thought, going to be a close game. When you get your first three drives are OPI punt, crazy fumble that gives them a touchdown, then an even worse interception at the 5-yard line, and then they go and score. You're down 14-0. Your offense had the ball 3 times and done nothing except giving them points. I was really, really encouraged by the way, and I know it was Virginia, not Miami or Clemson, but we were there. I mean, that place was as loud as probably as that place is going to get with 50,000 people. And I thought the offense responded really well. I thought Deuce made big plays. I thought the quarterback made some plays. They made some tough runs. Randy Pittman, I liked the way the offense responded. They didn't punt after. I don't think they punted the rest of the game. They just had a couple bad plays and a 4th down decision.
Yeah, and real quick, and so you were bringing that energy a little bit to the wrap, and I was not feeling it at the time, but I do feel like looking back, I agree with you. I think the offense deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah.
For 500 yards, coming back from the hole they were in. Again, it's hard to walk away talking positively about it. But yeah, there's no question. There's a lot of good things.
They put up 38, even if you don't want to count the 3 in overtime. They put up 35 and 514 yards on the road with the worst start imaginable. So I did like that they didn't just spiral into an abyss like like some teams do.
Well, I think that speaks to a mentality that has certainly flipped this year, and you're right to point it out. But the only thing I'll push back on, Corey, they moved the ball. I mean, they were moving the ball on both those opening drives easily. They were You had you're at the 38. You're at the 38 when you fumble the ball, but
you're at your own 38.
But you have nothing to show for it.
But I'm saying you're running the ball. That's a long run.
It's not like it's not like you're getting stoned.
And then you're at the 5-yard line because you went right down the field.
Right.
I mean,
But when things go against you, you've seen it. They could have panicked.
I'm not discrediting that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that they knew they were moving the ball.
Right.
The stuff they wanted to run was there for them.
It's not like they were getting stoned from the beginning and then had to figure it out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even the PI call, the offensive is ticky-tacky. It's because his arms were extended.
Yeah. And he admitted that today, by the way. He said he had both hands on him, and that was a mistake.
Yeah, I mean and I
don't know if you could tell it on TV, but I tweeted about it. That I don't know what referee that is, back judge. I don't know whoever that referee was back there that came up calling it. Dude, he was so fired up to throw that flag.
It's like
it was like, I got you.
He was adamant. It was like a referee in Cameron getting to call a charge.
It really was. He was
we're going this way.
I'm not saying there was anything improper,
very,
but
very
man, he was fired up. It was one. I wonder if it was something that maybe Tony Elliott had mentioned before the game.
Point of contention.
Watch out when this guy does that, because man, he was fired up to bust him.
All big receivers have this issue going all the way back. Michael Irvin used to do this, and I mean, you watch with Mike Evans in Tampa all the time. He gets one a week, and when you're a big guy and you're going against a little guy, you want to use the big guy advantage, which is I'm just going to push you away. Right. And there's a technique to it. You can still do it. You just can't do it like that. Unfortunately, when they catch the arms extended, you're done. But that's still, it was kind of a soft call, and that disrupted that drive.
Well, that was over. That was to remind people, it was a 3rd and 5 play when you got 12 yards, and now it's 3rd and 20, and the drive is over.
Yeah.
So that's a drive. It's not just it puts you behind the chains; it's a drive killer.
Yeah.
And then the next one is a fumble.
Yeah.
And
then is the ultimate drive killer.
That is absolutely a drive killer. Then after that,
man, that's unlucky too. They got so unlucky. I felt situationally they got so unlucky. I mean, you have the Jerry play where that's a pick 6 if he stays on his feet instead of just diving forward to put his hand in, and then the tip goes right to Harris. Are you effing kidding me with that?
And even the fumble, like I just assumed maybe his knee was down, but he did such a good job of not letting his knee hit the ground.
Trying to get the extra yard.
Yeah, that it ended
Kid made a good play.
Yeah, no question.
Just off the cap.
And the kid made that's play. A bad decision on Tommy to pull it and try to throw it there. Still, kid made a great play. He went and made a play.
I would have liked him to give there, but I'm sure running the ball right down their throat.
And he makes. I was bringing this up. He makes a lot. He played 84 snaps, and I feel like he's probably making a decision on almost all of them, probably at least 65 of them. You're going to make some bad ones. You just would like a little more game awareness right there. Like, this isn't worth it. We have first down.
And they haven't stopped the run in this entire drive.
You just ran for 32 yards on 2 plays.
Keziah Holmes, boom, boom.
Yeah, you had 16-16. You're down to the 5. And then,
it was too cavalier. It was club.
Yes, a little too cavalier.
It was Club Nickian is what I like the phrase.
Or Lagway. There you go. That's a tough one.
And I think Tommy, they're confident right now. They are confident. Even after those 2 drives, to your point, like they've been very confident. And that's a decision that just reeks of confidence. And sometimes you have to respect the game more and not take that chance.